Hey, what's up, guys? This is Andrew from Fire from Heaven, and I just wanted to do a quick update for all you guys on the fundraiser and the new album and just all that's been going on with Fire from Heaven lately. So, yeah, let's get into it. Alright, guys, so I was going to go over some of the statistics of the fundraiser so far with you guys. So, um, so if you guys didn't know, the goal of the fundraiser is $500, and we have raised $40 out of that. So we haven't gotten very far, and I did in the past I've done two fundraisers. One was successful and one was not. The first one wasn't. Um, I definitely did not know what I was doing, but yeah. Second one, we made it, and that was just to for me to make CDs for my Symphony of Creation collection. Um, and that was successful, and we raised almost twice the amount, which was $200. So not a very high goal, but just trying to get to a point where I don't have to put personal money into my music, and where I'm just getting support as I make these projects. Um, so the last one was successful, and it did start off really slow, like this one. So with Kickstarter, you usually set the amount of days you'd like your fundraiser to be live, and in that number of days, you have to raise the at least the goal of like your set goal, whatever it might be. You have to raise at least that, otherwise your project won't get funded. Um, Even with this fundraiser, I still didn't go super high. Um, Last fundraiser we raised around $400, so I raised the bar to 500, and yeah, we still have a long ways to go. I set the days to 60 days just because it was a lot more than my past fundraiser that was successful, so I wanted to have plenty of time to raise all the money I needed for the project. We're at 41 days to go, so that means it's been about 20 days, and we have 5 backers, $40 pledged, 8% funded. So we haven't gotten very far. We're still having some of the same issues I had before with it starting off really slow. If this was a $30 or 30-day campaign, then we'd only have 11 days to go to raise $500. So, but I kind of feel like some people haven't supported it yet because they just know they have plenty of time to do it still. And that's okay too. I don't want to rush anyone, but the more support we get on the campaign, then the more people will come to support it that aren't even familiar with my music and just see my project on Kickstarter. And I just wanted to talk about the goal real quick. Goal is $500, like I said, and kind of the main thing I would like to do with the $500 is one thing for sure. Do with some of the money from the goal is get this plugin to help with my vocals. Um, as some of you guys might know, with my first release with vocals, my Deathcore Symphony EP, it turned out really good for my first release with vocals. Um, but there was just a lot that I couldn't do as far as mixing and stuff like that because I didn't know very well. And so with part of the money, I want to get this plugin called Gain Reduction by this really awesome dude in the metal scene. Helped record bands like Attack Attack and a lot of popular metalcore bands. But he's created a plugin called Gain Reduction. The first one is like around $50. The second one is $200. I'm still debating on which one I would get, and it would depend on how the fundraiser goes. I think for now I'm just going to go for getting the first one. It would still just change the sound of my vocals a lot and really help give it that really heavy crushing sound that we need in this album that's going to be heavy. That's just one thing I'm really excited about. It's gonna be so sick. I know we'll get to the goal and I'll be able to get that. So that's one thing I'm really excited about being able to do with some of the funding money. I also want to get for a lot of you guys who have been listening to my music for a while, one of my main things that I try to do to set my music apart from a lot of heavier music is adding orchestral elements and stuff like that. Like what I do, it's not just metalcore, it's like symphonic metalcore. That is kind of how I define my sound. and it really just helps set my music apart and give my music a more epic feel. With some of the funding money, I would like to get some good orchestral plugins, just some that, that some of the better plugins that you could buy. They sound way better than the ones they use. And yeah, there's a way to make the free ones sound good, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. Um, with some of the funding money, I would like to get some orchestral plugins like choirs and strings and stuff like that. I know a good choir plugin would really add a better sound, because all the free plugins I have that have choirs, they're not that great. Um, with some of the orchestral ones, I can make them sound decent. It would just give the songs a more genuine sound with the orchestral elements. So that is what I'm hoping to do with some of the funding money as well. Overall, for plugins, I would probably spend about $200. Plugins is kind of one of the biggest things that would really help change my sound up and make it sound a lot better. With the rest of the main goal, with the $300, I was going to put all of that towards promotion. And there were several record labels that I've talked to. I think I told you guys this before. I'm trying to stay as an independent artist. I don't plan on signing to any labels. I've had offers, but not really looking to do that. Record labels do offer promotional services as well. Um, some of it is pricey, so you got to kind of look around for it. But I've talked to Global Metal Productions, and I think that's who I'm going to have promote my album. They have a lot of monthly subscriptions and stuff like that, deals where I can really get my music out there and do interviews and stuff like that with lots of magazines and stuff like that. So that was something I was really looking into with the majority of the funding money, as well as just paid advertising, like paid Facebook ads, and just reaching a broader audience for support in the future, and just helping the music get out there and reach as many ears as possible. Pretty much all of the rest of that $300 will go towards the promoting. Some of it will go towards just putting my music online through TuneCore, like paying for the album and stuff like that. I do the mixing myself. I do have some people that help me and give me advice. But as far as mixing goes, I mainly do it myself. And then mastering, I have a paid service that does it. It's kind of a quick mastering service, but it is really good. You just need to have a decent mix down, and it really sounds great. So I know, unless we actually really get, if we get maybe to our second goal of $1,000, then I won't pay someone to mix and master it professionally, just because I won't be able to afford to, unless we do get to $1,000 goal, the second goal of $1,000. And not all of that would go towards that, so we'd have to really raise a lot more money than the original goal in order for me to pay for professional mastering services. Yeah, there's a little bit on the goals of this project. I hope it helped clarify some things, and maybe you guys are ready to move to support now that you understand what the money will go towards. It'll all go towards helping the project and helping the album happen, and I appreciate any help you guys can offer, whether it be $1 or $100. Anything makes a difference, and I really appreciate it. Now, on to the album progress. I wanted to talk about. Now, on to the progress of the album itself that I wanted to talk about with you guys a little bit. So, I'll read you guys the tracks that I'm wanting to have. I think I'm going to have this as the order of the tracks, but this isn't the official order, but I think it's going to be, but I might change some things around. But so the first track we got is Overture to War, and that's just going to be like an intro, really hyping you guys up, getting you ready for a crushing album. With this song, I'm going to be adding lyrics. Is kind of just going to be kind of a march feel, like just like marching to war, and I'm trying to add kind of a storytelling aspect to the album with all the lyrics and everything. Like, I really love the storytelling type of metal albums. So I'm kind of adding a storytelling aspect, especially in the intro overture to War. Talk about just this army which is marching to the battlefield and just things that are going through their head and just different things. The next song is going to be called "The Body of Our God." What that song is about is basically the Church of Christ becoming one and worshiping as one body. Um, there's a lot of different people in the church. I don't think it's right to exclude different people in the church just because they have different talents or different gifts or look different. We are all created as one body, like the Bible says. We all have different gifts, and they all contribute to one body. Just like, my hand is nothing without my fingers. They're two different parts, but still one. So that's kind of what that song is about, and just coming together and worshiping God as one. Waging wars, I'm kind of struggling with the lyrical message with. I might even change the title of the song as because just as I think about it, and as I'm writing the album, um, just a lot of things are changing, and I'm going more for a storytelling aspect. And with waging wars, I might be change. I'm not sure what I'll change the name to, but with the lyrical message as I write it, it's becoming more of a dialogue between like between a knight and a demon. That's kind of like what the song is turning into as I write it. Um, when I write when I write songs, I try to just go with whatever I'm thinking, and then or just like whatever whatever comes to mind. Sometimes, I mean, usually I name the songs beforehand just to give me a little bit of something of what I'm going to write about. And with Waging Wars, it kind of started out as like, let the men of God stand up. It's time to wage war, that kind of thing. And then towards the end, I I just for some reason felt like just writing about this battle between good and evil, between like this demon and a knight, and just this argument that they have. So that's kind of it's becoming more of a dialogue between the two rather than like a call to the men of God to stand up. So that song might be changing some as far as lyrical message. Um, but yeah, I really want to talk about that one because I might be changing the title of the song "Waging Wars." The song "Overture to War" was originally named "The Awakening," but I felt like the need to change it. And with some of these songs, I wrote like last year, and I just kind of released them as singles, instrumentals, and I just gave them a random name. So as I'm writing the album, some of the song names are just changing because of the message of the song, and the name is not relevant. Next song is "Fire Within." As far as progress of that song, all the instruments are done except for I'm going to add another layer of guitars. Just because I had a lot of people saying that the strings and stuff were drowning out the guitars and stuff. So I'm just going to add another layer of guitars and make the guitars more powerful. But that's it for that song as far as the instruments go. And I haven't started writing for that song, but with that song, "Fire Within," it was just going to be about. It actually originally the title came from like my first album release. Um, Trust me, you guys don't want to hear it. Uh, I might go back and revisit some of those just because. But anyways, when I wrote that song, I really had a fire in my belly, and I just had a passion for everything that I believe in, and that's kind of what "Fire Within" about. The song name might change a little bit, but the overall message, it'll be the same. Um, just reigniting the fire within us. And I know some of us we let the fire grow dim and even die out, maybe turn into a small ember. But when I refer to the fire, I just refer to passion. And I went through a season where I just felt so numb and I didn't feel any passion for anything. And at one point, that ember got reignited into a fire. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in that song. Um, But with that song, the sound of it, I actually released a playthrough of the instrumental version. Um, but really heavy deathcore sound. um, with lots of tremolo picking for sure, and heavy breakdown. And it's really exciting. That one really turned out really good as far as the riffs and stuff. And really, they all just really flowed together well. The next song, track 5, is "This Is Our War." Um, with that song, as far as the progress, all I really have left is I'm going to do the same thing as I'm going to do with Fire Within, add another layer of guitars just to make it more powerful. And I also still need to add all the orchestral stuff, like the strings and piano and stuff. So I need to do that, and then that song, all the instruments will be done, and I'm almost done with actually writing the lyrics for this song. I also want to release this song as a single before the album is released, because I feel like I feel like there's a lot of people who want to support the album but don't know what the vocals are going to sound like yet, and are waiting for that. So I really need to get a single released. So that is probably going to be one of the first singles released. And "This Is Our War" it's really just a song about what um, it's kind of just a song about like our struggle as Christians in our war. Our fight is not with our fellow man; it is with the darkness. It is with Satan and his armies. That is what kind of reflects the whole theme of the album. But the interlude is just going to basically consist of just an epic orchestral instrumental. That's pretty much what the interlude will be. Next song is track 7, "Rally to the King." I'm so excited for how this one turned out. I basically have all the instruments down for this one. I still need to do, I still have a couple of loose ends with this song. I want to change a couple of things. But it's pretty much done. This song is really fast paced and a lot of technical riffs. It really cramps my hand if I don't get a good warm up before I try playing this song. Um, but man, you guys are gonna love this one. I feel like this one really kind of has a storytelling aspect to it. Um, I take some of my storytelling aspects, like influences from stories like Lord of the Rings. I really love those stories. Um, and just like this song, the whole idea I got from it was actually from I got this idea from the Hobbit movies. The third one, the Five Armies. Towards the end, uh, the dwarves, they were all fighting the orcs and stuff, and then Thorin, like the king, he was um, he was struggling with the lust for gold, and then he kind of came out of it, and he woke up, and then they charge out, and just and then one of I think it was his cousin, the character, his cousin's like, to the king, and then they all rally to the king, and then they crush the orc army, and it's really sick. And I got that idea from that movie, just the title, and then I don't know. I just kept hearing that phrase in my head, and how like just we as followers of Christ, we rally behind him. He goes before us, fighting our battles, and that's just kind of what I was feeling when I just thought of that. But it definitely has a storytelling aspect to it. But I still try to keep like the biblical aspect to it, and I'm just really excited for this one. This one turned out really sick. Yeah, just the line at the end before the breakdown hits hard is gonna be like, "Rally to the guy." It's gonna be sick, guys. Trust me. Next track, this isn't an official track. It's just called "The Warrior" or "Release the Warrior." I might change that, but it was a song I had written beforehand. Like I don't have instruments for it at all, so that's why it might be kind of like a bonus track kind of thing. Like it's not an official part of the album. But the next one is track 9. I'm calling this the Missionary's Anthem, and I'm gonna have to go in depth when I release this song and the story behind this as well. I actually got this idea after a missionary came to my church and spoke, and it was just amazing message. And the guy's been through some crazy stuff in a very dark part of the world, like so dark that he couldn't even have his name said on like the church videos when they were recording him. They couldn't even say his name. So that's how dark of a part of the world that he is in the mission field of. So it's crazy. Um, but kind of the main aspect of it is like just the missionary's goal and just to go plant a church, and that's gonna be a line in the song. It's gonna be just like, go plant a church. It's gonna be awesome. That was the original. That was the original name, was Go Plant a Church, but then I decided the missionary's anthem I thought would just be a cool name. And then track 10 is going to be called The Crusades Against Hell. And that's going to be just a recap on the entire album and just what the whole album is about, basically, like it's the title track. So there are some tracks that I might be adding, and then I might be adding bonus tracks, but that is kind of the gist of what will be on the album. And when I release the album, I'll have like an instrumental version and a vocal version. But yeah, I'm really excited about this album. It's really coming along. So all I really need is you guys to share the fundraiser and go and support it. I really need some help from you guys on this one, as we're trying to raise a lot more money than we have in the past. $500. It's been over almost 20 days, and we've only got 5 backers at 8% funded, so we can still use a lot of help supporting that. Please share it around, help support the album. Anything you can give is greatly appreciated. Like I said, if it's $1 or $100, doesn't matter. Anything you can give makes a difference. As the project is funded more, then more people will want to support it. Please check it out and help me make this happen. We still have 41 days to go for this fundraiser. I'm confident we can raise $500. I was trying to think of ideas for rewards. Since the main goal is already set, I can't really add like physical CDs until I know I will have the money to do that. So unless we get to the second goal of $1,000, then I won't add rewards till we get to that second goal. I won't add like the physical CDs. But if we do get to $1,000, then I will add some different rewards like physical CDs and some merch. Hopefully we get that far, but our main goal is just 500, and I'm confident we can do that. Anyways, that is all I have for this video update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry I kind of babbled on quite a bit, and this video is kind of long, but I appreciate your guys' support, and thanks for watching. See you guys later.